And we have some more interesting new heroes. If there's one thing this series has delivered, you know, it's the pace of the games has been relatively slow and methodical for both teams, but it has brought a lot of different hero picks, and this game is no different. We get to see a Drow, we get to see the Bristle, as well as the Earth Spirit. Now, these are not heroes that Zero haven't played before in this tournament. As the panel alluded to, they have run them beforehand, but I was very interested to see the timing of the Bristle pick and what information Zero had at the given time, because as the panel was talking about, they were hoping it was going to be a core, and I was too. When I looked at Aurora, the first 4 picks they had have a lot of AoE damage and control and sustain, but they don't have a lot of single target. And if there's one thing you need against Bristleback, it's a way to actually kill them. So they're going to use Drow as their final solution to this problem. She definitely has a lot of single target damage when she gets there, and I do agree with them 100%. I think 23 Savage is the player to watch for Aurora in this game. Not a lot of margin for error, in my opinion. If his game goes poorly, this Bristle could become a massive problem, but that hero is very polarizing. It has great games, and it also has games that you're just like, okay, you know.
Is there a typical facet that people are picking on the Bristle these days?
Because
he took the
Seeing Red. I feel like this the other one that you've mostly been choosing. I forgot the name of this one. It's not a hero I see that much. It's Snot Rocket. That's right. That's the other one. And then he also has Berserker.
Oh, look at this! A 3-man gank onto the Bristleback. They don't want him to have a good start to the game. Yep. He's going to start it out basically with half HP.
And instant TP top now from the Snapfire. Yeah. So. Seemed pretty deliberate here to try to give 23 Savage a little bit of an easier start with a little bit of assistance there. And I mean, this lane in essence should be pretty straightforward for the Drow together with Treant. This is a very strong bodyguard that you essentially have for a relatively weak laner in the Drow. And the question is the X factor of the gate, right? If there's the possibility for ZZQ to leave top a little bit and go help bottom, that could lead to kills, but I feel like the Wind Ranger will be exceptionally susceptible up top to an X-Mark Snapfire combo, so perhaps it will end up being relatively static. Should mention, as we... Okay.
Who will deny this creep?
We're getting a pause. Yeah, very exciting stuff. 7E has looked on a different level when he's played this hero. So I do think if you're hoping for Team Zero to ultimately be able to claim this best of 3, he is probably the player to watch for that team, because the way he plays this hero is quite extraordinary. So he definitely has shown the potential to take over games when he is he's controlling Earth, and the lane matchup against Puck is pretty even. I think both heroes should just be farming. So on the flip side of that, Lornoff, I would also say Puck one of his best heroes, so plenty of potential plays coming from the mids. And I do think, I assume you would agree with this is going to be a faster pace. I just refuse to think that this will be one of those both teams sit back and farm again for 15 minutes in the mid game, given the nature of the lineup.
Both teams have gotten that out of their system. They're ready for a Game 3 showdown, Cinderella. Well, this looks like it might be first blood as ZZQ takes a tumble. Q will take the first blood for himself.
Yep, just getting the way earlier level 2 will do that. Phoenix is only level 1.5. So that was very easy for the side of Aurora to grab themselves a little bit of an edge.
So for the Earth Spirits that we've seen, Cinderin, is this the typical facet as well? The Magnetize gives you damage, attack damage?
I think he has generally gone for Resonance. Trying to remember. So Stepping Stone was less popular. Again, I mean, this hero's facets have been a little bit of a mess, right? It's been back and forth between them. I do think mid Earth Spirit Resonance is the most common choice. Actually thought for a moment there that 7E might try for the roll to chase the orb, but chose not to. So yeah, not too surprised with any facets chosen, really. Seeing red one will be interesting to see coming into effect.
Yeah, I assume there's some sort of visual like particle effect when you activate it, but I think one of the big things is you lose vision on a certain aspect is beyond. And that's the part that doesn't really translate as a viewer, I feel like, at all, is beyond. Okay.
Oh.
Forced to TP out.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Well, so he does get the Lotus, but he TPs to base. This is...
all the way.
Yeah, so, okay, so Rubik has pulled the wave, so I guess he isn't losing that much on this movement, but Yeah, it already feels like, based on how this early laning stage bottom has gone, Bristleback is going to be in a world of hurt, and they might need to get some stacks running for him so he can recover. This hero does not play well from behind. It needs to, like, the whole purpose of it in this game, I really like the mindset behind it, but if the lane is atrocious, it doesn't really matter. And this is probably the most one-handed, or rather one-sided lane we've seen in this series so far in the first 4 minutes. It's just getting completely...
Yeah, 5 last hits. Not a good start.
Yeah. Drow 17 and 8.
And Drow, I feel like late game, just in general, is pretty damn good against the Bristleback. And it really depends on how well the Bristleback's doing, but you can always itemize Silver Edge for the break. You can go for the Axe to get hypothermia for less health regen on the Bristleback. So
pretty sure he'll get both. I think his build will include both of those items in this one. Although I suppose you also want the MKB for the Wind Ranger, so you're probably running a little bit into slot issues at some point, but we'll see if we get to 6 slot territory to begin with.
Yeah, it was 23 Savage. For his facet, he went for the one that synergizes with Glacier. More damage when attacking from high ground. So either when you're losing horribly or with your shard, generally.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting. I feel like these facets, a lot of them are very, very interesting. Like the the Luna one, where everybody on your team gets a bigger Lotus, essentially. 20% extra regen from Lotuses. Or is it Luna? No, it's Mirana, sorry. Because of the anime. How could I forget? I know you're not a fan of fun things, though, so understand.
I hate fun.
Yeah. Yeah, mid lane, though, talking about this Earth Spirit, 32 and 5 start. And for Lornoff, 29 and 2, so
that's
pretty even affair. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but Earth Spirit is a hero that you need to get off to a good start. Historically, he was. I don't know about this tournament.
I'd actually say he's less dependent on a good start than a hero like Bristle. I mean, also comparing apples and oranges here, I suppose, but he can cover some ground through just having levels, because his spells are pretty potent in the earlier stage of the game when you make connections with your teammates. So I guess I'd rather word it as, it's really good news for Earth Spirit. The hero can be incredibly potent when it has a good start. And he's putting it to use right away. Straight onto Jabs.
Jabs is in a lot of trouble. Magnetize is used, and eventually he will tick away. A nice rotation there.
Very swift move coming out of 7E. And he's actually timing this perfectly with potentially contesting the 6-minute rune. See if he wins the duel. He does.
Oil used. Lornoff gonna get some help via Q. Nice dodge there. 7E in a lot of trouble, though. Looks like they will eventually find the kill. Does go to Q instead of Lornoff, but take what you can get.
I actually think he could have lived. He waited, like, I want to say almost 10 seconds with activating his regen. And then he ultimately is like, oh, wait, I can use this while I'm taking damage. And then it was maybe a little bit too late.
Old habits die hard for
them. It is, for a lot of players, very unintuitive that you use regen in fights like that, but I feel like we've reached the point now where this has been in the game long enough that it's kind of just a poor excuse. So a little bit of a misstep there. A nice punish, of course, coming in from Aurora. Lornoff will, unfortunately for him, just only get the assist there, but he's more than happy to get a little bit of free space in the lane. And with Earth Spirit making the TP rotation to top, that also means he has to do the walk out of base from that death. Is he taking the Wisdom here? He's taking the Wisdom. So, all right, which support on the Dire is going to be very underleveled? It looks to be, well, I guess he's giving a bit of space mid to Rubik, so it's okay. Beyond,
very low. Yeah, we have rotation from Q now on the Aurora side. ZZQ to the south, though.
Well, that's a good timing on that ward placement from Ollie. It will actually be dewarded, but it got some valuable information immediately. 7E doesn't care, though. He knows they know he's there. There we go. That's hard to say.
Good.
Doesn't care, though.
Rotation coming. Magnetize already used. Just onto Q for now. Runs into 23 Savage on the back line. Multi-shot applied. Ollie's there as well with the Leech Seed as well. And I think this is just a straight-up kill. Coil is expended from Lornoff as well, but more rotation from Team Zero. They want to continue this fight. Lornoff will be able to use his Illusory Orb to get away, but the Phoenix is going to be traded for the snap. So it's a 2-for-1 to start in favor of Aurora.
You know what situation this reminded me of? The 3-man Sand King stun last game.
That's true, yeah.
He just really, he's in there. This guy plays aggro when he thinks it's time for it. But again, feels like the team is a little bit late to that move. So ultimately, either his judgment call is a little bit over-aggressive or his team is too slow, but they were not, it felt like they were not fully on the same page there about the nature of the aggression there. So Aurora get a couple of good ones out of that. But I will say, no matter what, it's good to see the pace being ramped up a little bit here from both teams. I think that's that was going to be a natural progression in this game. With the lineups they have, I just don't expect the very slow farming style. When the mid heroes are Puck and Earth Spirit, I don't think they're trading farm for 15 minutes without making moves. That would be very weird.
Yeah, it would be. Man, this Scatterblast Gore facet is crazy. It does so much damage.
Full bore is amazing.
Wait, what did I say?
I think you said gore. I mean, it's gory too.
It is gore, yeah.
It does a lot of damage.
Full bore.
Full bore.
Level 5 right now on that Snapfire, and once that Mortimer's Kiss is up, I think the panel was discussing the synergy with both the Puck and Treant, be able to contain these heroes into one location.
Yep,
Kisses will do a lot, and they're going to try something right off the bat now that he's level 6.
If this movement is successful, this could be really, really strong if they can transition it into a tower. The unfortunate nature of this move is that it's arguably 30 seconds too early. They'll kill the Phoenix here, which will be nice. Okay, finish it off. There we go. But now they don't have the siege creep, so probably not claiming the tower with it. A lot of the time we see teams smoking for the 10-minute siege creep timing, specifically so they get that extra collateral damage.
Ooh.
But now maybe not so much.
Smoked up, looking for... Oh, nice Waning Rift.
Rune spot. So that will go the way of 70.
will get that.
Do Aurora know what rune he got? I think they don't. So this could be... There's a possible play here with the TP to top if he sees heroes and just completely surprise them with an Invis rune. Now he's showing mid, so they will know. Keep his farm going.
Jabs with the Blade Mail coming soon.
Yeah, nice item against Earth Spirit, of course. A lot of uncontrollable damage. Also good against Sunray, good against Wind Ranger. Somewhat good against Bristle. I mean, it's an insane Blade Mail game when you look at it, actually. So, not surprised at all that he's choosing that first.
Yeah, 70 also going for that on the Earth Spirit.
Vanguard now unlocked. Bristleback, one of the few remaining heroes, if not the only one, that still buys Vanguard as his first item. Mostly we see heroes opt for, if they want a bit of tankiness, 2 or 3 bracers or phase boots bracers on heroes such as Axe. But 70, or rather Beyond, will be getting the Vanguard this game. And he's eyeing up the Ags next, so pretty standard stuff with that Quill Burst from the back. Some interesting possible combinations with Shackle Shot. I think that can actually become just an assassination combo. With Rubik as well, if he steals a stun, like Coil. Could be very, very powerful later down the line. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. He's level 8. Take it easy, Shannon.
Yeah, take it easy.
He's recovered now, though. Now his net worth is equal to the Drow. And he was looking very bad earlier.
Yep.
Now 73 CS is passable.
CS's?
CS is passable.
Okay.
Good try, though.
Appreciate that.
Not going to work on me.
Definitely not in your homeland, either.
No. I don't make mistakes.
23 Savage going to be opting for the Hurricane Pike as his first main item.
Yep. Probably Pike Silver, I guess. Seems pretty stable here.
Oh, yeah, this is nice. That is satisfying. Just doesn't get the same... You don't get the same feeling with the goo facet, you know? Just that dopamine rush doesn't really enter into the game.
The dopamine rush of standing AFK at Ancients is unmatched.
It feels great. What can you say? It's great design. If you can stand AFK and it feels great, that's good.
That is a fair point. If you can literally not play the game and love the game, that's awesome.
If you're not griefing, that is. That's
fair. Yeah, that's a bit of a... Gotta be careful with that one.
Yeah, but they changed Shadow Amulet to not be quite the same as it was.
Yeah.
Can't abuse it. 1K lead very early on for Team Zero. As things have slowed down a bit. As the Maelstrom now online for Yes Sir.
Yes Sir.
Lornoff with the Witchblade. Blink will be the first item for him. 7E with the Arcane Rune, and see if he can get something going here. He's 0-2 to start the game, has 2 assists though.
Good placement here from Laurenov.
Bottom net worth on the
little bit by chance, but I think they're going to dive this anyway. They've had enough, and they want to open up the tower. They've made this rotation now, and Rubik is still smoked, so Ponlo could potentially get a very good obs out now. This is a nicely pre-placed sentry from Ollie with the timing still lasting on the vision.
Yeah.
So it will immediately get dewarded, and that might thwart their aggression, but honestly, when you've committed 5 heroes to rotate down here, surely you're finishing the job.
The tower is already kind of low.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Aurora
might want to fight
about it. Glyph.
He does have overgrowth. Q has yet to use Mortimer Kisses. The silence right now onto Laurenov have half HP. You're gonna be able to find Ponlo to start things out as there's the overgrowth coming out, and the Mortimer's Kisses onto Yes Sir, trying to run away. Jabs, another slow coming out with that Nature's Grasp, and Yes Sir might be able to get out. In fact, he will, as Laurenov gets off the coil just to kill off the Phoenix. So just 2 supports dead for Team Zero. They do eventually get the X, but no connection. Oh, the Tidebringer deletes, Yes Sir. So 3 for nothing in Aurora's favor. Great read from them and good execution.
Yeah, ironically, in that situation, 7E actually had a possible connection in the tower, and this time he did not go. So I wonder how his brain works with... he seems very aggressive sometimes and very withholding other times. Now he will go for this one.
Yeah, magnetize.
Onto Q.
As the roll-in not gonna connect here. Q is definitely dead.
Yeah.
And the rest of Aurora will try to get out.
But Aurora will happily take this trade. This was a very good result for them. Sure, this tower is not long for this world, but them getting this good of a team fight out of it with multiple kills on a effectively dead tower, I think they're quite happy with the way this all went down. Now 7E.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Sir trying to run, gets the shackle off. Should be fine now as 7E damage rune is dissipating here.
Yeah, not enough backup there to try to turn this into a counterplay, but does manage to save his Windranger. And I'll be farming up in the jungle with the lovely Whirlwind. Pretty close to Gleipnir.
So in the end, it is essentially a tier 1 trade.
Yeah, but the bottom one was a guaranteed claim. So again, I think Aurora, this is probably a good outcome for them. We are seeing 23 Savage queuing up the Silver Edge next. The Pike is just about 200 gold away. So that is going to unlock that hero quite a bit. A big part of the reason we don't see Drow so much, despite this being a ranged carry heavy meta, is the hero needs quite a lot of time before she truly comes online, whereas many other ranged carries are just faster with their Gleipnir buildups. Drow doesn't really go that direction. So the fact that this game is just a little bit slow still compared to many other games we've seen in the tournament, it is good news for Drow. This is usually a very weak spot for the hero, and 23 Savage is really playing with fire here, just running in circles up here.
Silenced up, Yes Sir, looking for potential shackle, but they're going to keep things in place. The Blade Mail activating. You can see a lot of damage being applied to Laurenov, but the cookie is there. The coil onto several. Ollie there in the back line with the overgrowth, and that is 2 cores dead right off the bat for Team Zero. And they're going to have to run away in shame. Highly doubt they're going to want to stick around here, assuming that Aurora wants to continue to push, but looks like they will back away into the jungle.
That was such a bizarre setup. It looked like 23 Savage was running circles 3 times in a row, really trying to bait until they finally took the bait. It was like a disbelief they didn't want to go on him. And well, they did. So it worked out for them, and they get another tower. A little bit of picking up the pace here for Aurora. Now suddenly top net worth will be 23. Interestingly, bought the Silver Edge recipe as his first component for his Silver Edge. That is, don't try this at home, folks, you don't understand. This is pro player stuff.
Yeah, they're always correct, of course.
Yes.
Ollie spotted. Another sentry having to be placed, though. You will certainly die in the river. Still having to waste the time of 4 members of Team Zero just to get that kill. Pretty annoying. As the 18-minute rune is bottled by Laurenov. Steals it right in the face of 7E.
Very nice. That is such a big rune for Earth Spirit. Shield rune is incredible on that hero.
Yeah, his strength gain
Yeah.
Insane.
Gets a ton of EHP from it, and it also really fits the playstyle. I think this... Oh, hang on.
Coil immediately broken.
He has no backup, though, so...
Looks like he'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so Earth Spirit's playstyle, this has to be one of the best heroes in the game to get a shield rune on. It's like mid Earth Spirit and mid Tiny, I guess. Where they have so much health, and they really want to go in... And Primal Beast, absolutely, up there. Those three really, really love this rune. Just go get in the front of... get in the face of the enemy team, get that extra 50% health, and just stay alive. But, yeah, not going to be the case here. We'll be on the puck.
What do you think of the Earth Spirit so far? Think he's had enough impact? Because it feels like a lot of the fights he's been trying to go for have not worked out for Team Zero.
I think he would have liked to do more than this, and honestly, I think it's been a little bit down to misplays or miscommunication. He did that really aggressive dive earlier where his team wasn't fully ready, and then when, in my opinion, there was a good opportunity, he hesitated. So maybe a little bit off of his A game here, but still very much salvageable for the side of Team Zero. They're not very far behind. Earth Spirit, obviously, as you said, lowest among the cores, but this hero with 9k net worth can easily have the same impact in a team fight as a puck with 11 if the spells land. It's just a matter of being in the right position and finding the correct opportunity. And his net worth will be converted into extremely powerful team fight capabilities as soon as this BKB comes out, because then the counterplay that Aurora have relied on so far is largely non-existent. We've talked about how they have a ton of AoE magic damage, but not that much single target physical. If Drow is accounted for and Earth Spirit wants to go in with a Blade Mail on and BKB, I think he can play more or less freely, aside from Overgrowth. So he can absolutely get his full combo off as he wants. So even more emphasis there onto 23. Getting that damage out. He's doing very well for himself, though.
Yeah.
Silver Edge is not far off. I
was going to ask how fast do you get shard on this hero, but I guess we can see that. It's after BKB. Which means if he was wanting to go for Ags, it's not going to be for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I think he probably still gets it. Well, he's eyeing up Lincoln's too. Okay, he's eyeing up a lot of items. I think he hasn't decided yet. It's just queuing up the entire shop. I want one of everything.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Beyond on that Bristleback has his Ags and has a lot of lifesteal, or a lot of spell lifesteal with the Voodoo Mask, in addition to the Vampire Fangs, which is exactly what you're looking for if you're a Bristle.
Yeah, gonna use this immediately to grab himself a Tormentor.
Why are his teammates even there, Syndra? He can solo that. He's a big boy.
Yeah, I think so too. Seems a little bit unnecessary. I actually think it's counterproductive for them to be there. I'm with you.
ZZQ gets the shard, so we talked about that in a previous game.
Yeah.
Best in the game, as you're going to see the initiation with the boat coming in, as well as the Mortimer's Kiss is, yes sir, is dead. And 7E just having a look on. He gets the Magnetize onto 3 heroes, though. Beyond TPing in, as the roll does not connect for 7E.
Yes, BKB.
He does. We'll use it once he's at half HP. Overgrowth to follow. Do they have the physical damage to rip through him? Drow from the sideline doing a lot of damage as the roll to the south, right off the map. The Phoenix Egg is dead, focused entirely by Aurora. And that's 2 kills, without anything to show for if you're Team Zero.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that big combo that we know that Team Zero's lineup is capable of producing. And a lot of the time it's because it's Aurora. Very nice find from Lauren off there.
Yeah, and the Blade Mail.
That's a big one.
Not going to be enough to save his life, and 7E will die to the hands of Lorenoff himself.
So I think a lot of the time the reason this game is going the way it is in the fights is that the majority of the initiative that's taken is Aurora finding Windranger. That feels like most of the fights that we've seen break out begin that way, and either YSR dies or has to run out and reset and gets saved by Earth Spirit. So they're not truly getting that setup where they come in from smoke and they get a telekinesis into Earth Spirit roll with a Bristle Burst or with a Shackle Shot plus Focus Fire, or excuse me, Whirlwind combination. Hasn't really lined up fully for Zero that way. So considering that, the relatively small gold differential is actually quite surprising.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I mean, we've talked about this several games ago, but
yeah,
it feels like when a team looks like they're ahead by quite... I mean, obviously the score can be deceiving, but it feels like they're winning this game regardless of score. And it's basically even net worth-wise. That's crazy to me.
But then it's about the writing on the wall for late game. Like, the panel was talking about can 0, like just they're on a timer, right? Bristleback, ultra late game against Drow, that matchup gets really tricky. You have a mid-Earth Spirit who inevitably will not be able to output the same as a fully slotted Puck. So you would think that in this stage of the game, the 0 lineup wants to force the issue a little bit and really play into their Bristle strengths. But once again, it seems to be a relatively quiet approach this team has taken. And, well, there you go. Now he has to deal with a Silver Edge.
Yeah.
So that timing that he might have had before is now a lot weaker on the Bristle. You can still overpower a Silver Edge with Bristleback, with Bloodstone, and getting all your stuff off. It's not a death sentence to get silvered, but it definitely doesn't make things easier.
How did Kunkka get the shard? Oh, it was a 50-50 between him and Snapfire. Okay,
yeah.
So they already had one on.
Yeah, Trent bought his own.
I see. I mean, that's really... Tidal Wave is amazing.
It's very good.
Very good shard.
It's very good both offensively and defensively this game. It's an extra protection layer for Drow. If they do get on top of her with Earth Spirit or Bristle, that they can perhaps get a knockback from the Kunkka in addition to Gust. And if they do find a catch, it's also a really good way of getting Wind Ranger into a crappy position. So...
Yeah, I mean, with Coil can be disgusting.
Very true. There's some nice combo potential there.
Oh, we got the Waning Rift, and this is a dead Phoenix. Freebie again for Aurora. Still 3 minutes on that Aegis. See how much they can get out of it. Again, score can be deceiving. 14-4. Does feel a little bit like game 1.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
The score was very lopsided, but the net worth was not. And then eventually Aurora were able to open it up into an astronomical lead.
Yeah.
But they're certainly dictating how this game is being played in terms of pace. Silver Edge now online for 23 Savage, which means Beyond is going to be in a lot of trouble in these fights.
Yeah, Shard coming out. So 20% extra damage whenever he wants. And I guess that Shard is actually also quite interesting against a hero like Bristle. Especially if he activates his Seeing Red, then maybe he can't even see the Glacier.
It's such a weird fast. I mean, it's a cool concept. I
like it.
But again, like as a viewer, it's hard to even tell what's going on because you're not seeing what.
All right, this is finally a moment of a smoke from 0.
Finally, a moment of a smoke as 23 Savage is going to get stunned, pushed back into the tier 2. Telekinesis back as well. Sunrise, nice gust from the 23 Savage, silencing 3 heroes. Tidal Wave onto the back line. The Bristleback is already dead. We'll buy back instantly, though. Again, Age is still there for less than 2 minutes. As Aurora will somewhat reset. Ollie looks to be dead. As long as 70 wants to finish the job.
They get the Aegis.
They do get the Aegis. Bristleback still quite healthy, but this is after a buyback as the Tidal Wave is being used on both sides. The Blade Mail not going to do too much for 70 as he is taken out. The break onto Beyond, but you can see the Agnum Scepter doing a lot of work against jabs. Tidal Wave back as Yasser in a lot of trouble in the meantime. We'll get the barrier applied to him, but the Kunkka does die. And you can see the Phoenix diving in as the Drow extremely low, and finally 23 Savage is taken out. His reign will come to an end as Lorinoff will follow suit. So all these buybacks coming out, Team 0, I should say, finally coming out ahead in a team fight. I mean, technically, 2 buybacks. They gained 1,000 net worth, Cinderin.
It was 4 for 4 with an Aegis, but you used 2 buybacks. It's honestly kind of a draw. I think Aurora quite happy overall. But maybe if they lose this tower and a little bit of map control, that is, hidden gold, so to say. You can't really buy vision in the same way as just pushing out waves with no opposition. So maybe that could set up a subsequent play here, but that was very scrappy. Like, it was clear in that moment that both teams were a little bit confused with what exactly was going on. Extremely chaotic fight, and a lot of the time Earth Spirit and Bristleback bring that to the table, as well as the Puck on the other side. And the stolen Tidal Wave definitely didn't help with keeping track of the fight for either of the teams. But if nothing else, Team 0 finally takes some initiative, We're going to see the replay here. So very nice kick in here, but also a pretty good save. He's going to pike himself out and get ghost shipped. And then the first kill on the Bristle. I do want to mention just how important it is right now that the Bristleback doesn't have Bloodstone. I think if he had the Bloodstone in these fights, I think he doesn't die. But now he's going to go BKB instead. He'll keep just the casual mask for now. But yeah, if he had BKB as well, same story. He just doesn't die to these exchanges. And I can't help but feel that despite Zero being on a timer, there is a big moment coming up for them soon. When that BKB on Bristle is done, now Phoenix with the pipe, and the Wind Ranger as well with her. She did use her first BKB charge, I believe, in this fight. It's not hard to envision how their fights can work out really well. They just haven't done it yet. So if they do manage to line it up very nice, I could easily see them come back here. But still, Aurora definitely, in my opinion, in the driver's seat. And they will probably be looking at their lineup, chilling up, waiting for next Roche.
So back to the waiting game, you say?
Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. Has the BKB Gleipnir. What's next on the docket for him? Is it a Daedalus, I assume?
He's queuing up Manta.
Oh, Manta. No.
Seems like that's one of the least talked about strengths of Treant whenever he's good in the meta, is the fact that people sometimes are forced to buy an additional defensive item on carries. Drow, or rather Wind Ranger, would not buy Manta here if it weren't for Treant. It's the literal only reason that he buys a secondary Dispel. And that's, you know, that's a lot of power to have in the hands of a position 5, being able to influence the enemy item build that much. And YSR was like, no, I don't care. So he's buying Chrysalis. So yeah, it was close. He almost felt forced, but then he didn't after all.
I see.
So yeah, maybe not.
I mean, the icon of the Daedalus is very, very enticing, I would say.
I agree. It's a pretty bow.
Smokes on both sides. Beyond is the one showing in the mid lane for now.
He has the BKB.
Will start things out. Mortimer's Kisses. He does pop the BKB eventually. 70 jumping in onto the Kunkka. Pops his Blade Mail as well. Not a lot of damage done because everybody's so damn tanky right now. Jabs in the river. He's also tanky, in case you were wondering. Slowed to a crawl, though, as, ooh, Coil only onto 1. And we'll see if Aurora want to back away now, that a lot of these ultimates have been used. 0 kills.
It is unreal to see how much damage went into that Kunkka and his HP bar didn't move. Like, what in the world? All right, well. Good fight.
that was a fight in Dota. That's what we call it. It was technically a fight.
I think that a 30-second clip of that fight, when your friends who haven't watched Dota in 2 years are like, what's the meta this TI? You show them that clip. It says more than 1,000 words, that 30-second sequence right there.
Yeah, that's fair. 70 working on his Shivas. Still looking for the Bloodstone on Beyond. Obviously that buyback set him back a bit. But you think once he gets that, that's when he's unkillable.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah. He's going to be in line with everybody else in this game.
I do think that is a fair concern here, though, is ultimately, if the game is going to be in this state for the next 10 minutes, right? You're going to get to an ultra-late game where I think the deciding factor will be, will Wind Ranger be able to Whirlwind and kill stuff for her team, or will Drow be able to single target stuff and kill stuff for her team? Because we're back to square one with the problem I was talking about against Bristleback, is the Radiant lineup, aside from Drow, does not have meaningful single target damage. It's like, it's a lot of, they do have a lot of damage, but it's AoE, so it's very mitigatable by auras and by, you know, just kiting, essentially. But both the Wind Ranger as well as the Drow, if they do get to laser in on a target, can very well kill off very fast. So I think the carries are definitely the players to watch now. More so than in most games. They will be the deciding factor. A lot of the time, you know, the offlaner can carry a game or a mid laner can carry a game. This doesn't feel like this is the one that's going to happen.
Only time will tell. I think this is the 60-minute game we were waiting for, by the way.
It is a possibility.
But first, we got to get to Roche number 4 or so. This is number 2.
It's banner time.
Indeed.
All right. I'll give you an over-under this banner gets used before Roche respawns?
It's not happening.
Okay, so you're saying they don't use it until third Roche.
Yeah. I think that's what happened in this series earlier, actually. They went for 2 racks and they put 1 on each lane. And it worked out quite well. But of course, Sniper was there to foil their plans. He killed it and then lost his racks right after.
So did he really?
He killed the banner. That was his objective, Cinderin.
Damn, 1K gold.
On the cliff.
This is very, once again, very even. A lot of the
Link away.
Ooh, okay. So I guess rather than just looking at the net worth differential between the teams, let's look at the distribution a little bit as well, right? Because you have Treant, who will generally be on the bottom. This hero doesn't farm that much. He has 3,500 up to Phoenix, who is the corresponding position 5 in the enemy team. So on the cores, the Radiant is ahead by a meaningful amount, but on the support, the Dire are ahead by a meaningful amount. So who do you put your faith in here? Is it an extra item on Drow, or is it an extra item on a hero like Phoenix?
Right.
Because we're once again approaching a point where ZZQ, quietly, despite being 1-6, is actually quite farmed.
But he's certainly had less impact than Ollie, though, this game so far.
Oh, for sure. But again, we looked at the last game. Phoenix was a difference maker when they wanted to finish that game off. That Hex that Phoenix had really did a lot. If he continues like this with the farming trajectory, then he will pull ahead by more than just 1 item against Treant. So can Aurora... Can they deal with a farmed Phoenix? I don't think Drow is the best hero at killing the egg. Snapfire is good when she's allowed to fire all of her Shredder attacks.
Yep.
But a very strong Phoenix late game here is, in my opinion, a real concern for the Radiant lineup.
The banner was used. I lost.
Good prediction. You were off by at least 7 minutes.
Yeah,
I think.
Fair. Pretty close.
Not bad.
I'm surprised they're trying to go high ground this early, but they do have the Aegis, and they will poke.
Yeah. Well, I guess from their perspective, who's going to break the banner?
Yeah, they don't have a sniper this time. Okay, so the tower already under half HP. It's a waning rift onto the
early
Phoenix.
pipe there. ZZQ got scared, got proper spooked.
Okay, you can just wait that out now. It's 23 Savage on the Glacier. Will finish off the tower. Nope, the fortification comes through first.
Okay.
Got to deal with his banner. It is strong. Okay, they get the break onto the Bristle at half HP. Now they're going to kick in the Drow.
X-Mark!
But he's fine.
Clutch.
Nice save there from the Kunkka. And Beyond already using his Bloodstone as well as another Glacier for 23 Savage. That is the death of the tower. And guess what? The banner is still alive, Cinderin.
But now the banner placement is not going to... Well, I guess if they can't pull the wave in, then they can't get it out of range.
Yeah,
now they finally do. So they might defend the melee. But I mean, still good job, right? Aurora get the
not
tower
bad.
and Rex for free.
Still under 2 minutes for the Aegis.
Very, very important that Jabs was quick on his fingers there with the X-Mark. I think Savage would have been in a pretty bad spot.
And try to finish off this lane. Again, the Glacier to get some high ground advantage. Now the Barracks getting pretty low. Shackle shot will hit. There's a lot of poking and prodding. No true initiation coming through for either side.
When is the last time you saw a banner expire from duration?
That is true.
15 seconds left on the banner.
On the old patch, we saw it all the time because they put in a random lane that would do literally nothing as the tower, or sorry, the Barracks will finally fall.
It did its
in
job.
This extremely exciting team fight. One lane for
banner.
Aurora.
Easy 200 gold for Beyond. That makes up for the lane.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. All right, well, that was, felt a little bit like a museum tour. They were just looking at the art. Both teams were watching.
If it's a boring museum, then it's contemporary art, right? Is that what that is?
Well, those barracks were contemporary until they were no longer there.
That's fair. Tier 2 towers next. Again, still with the Aegis. I don't think they're going to go for the high ground again, since it is expiring somewhat soon.
Yeah, and they don't have banner this time.
That's true. The banner was, I mean, unironically, it was quite good.
Oh yeah,
it's much better.
It was the only reason they raxed.
Yeah, for sure.
So they put it to very good use there.
They're poking here. Again, the Glacier.
Some damage.
Beyond.
Quite a lot of damage, actually.
Yeah. Pretty good usage of that Aghanim Scepter. 23 Savage. 15 seconds. Wants to get as much damage on these buildings before he has to exit. And yeah. So Aurora, They take a full set of racks. Very exciting back and forth. 0 heroes died.
Both carries now without Aegis, and both carries with a Daedalus, so that any upcoming fight has the potential to be very explosive in nature if the carries are free to roam in the fight.
So they hit buildings even harder, is what you're saying.
Just keep an eye on the carries. They will be the ones killing. If anything is to die in this game, it will be the respective position ones getting the job done.
And remember, whoever wins this game will be upper bracket for the main event here at TI. So there is a ton on the line.
Yeah.
Smoke now from
Don't want to be in the
Aurora.
first round of elimination, no matter what opponent you get.
Yeah, that is a rough place to be. Beyond, going to get broken. Silence up, they force the BKB. Nice exchange there is now 7E. We'll have to BKB out of the coil. So it's coil for 2 BKBs, essentially.
Very good trade for Aurora. I believe neither of those BKBs were 6-seconders yet anyway, so I think the Earth Spirit one was 7 and the Bristle was 8, so not only do they force them, they also cut down the duration for future fights. Now Lorinov will get X-marked. A little bit of a poke here.
Yep, and Drow can try to finish this tower, does so easily, despite not having the banner, has the confidence now because the banner lived a good life. Now even a blink for Ollie, and this is actually pretty huge. The blink overgrowth can have huge impact on this game. And they're just going for the X-Mark shenanigans. 70 jumps in with that Shivas, gets silenced though right off the bat. Tidal Wave trying to bring the Phoenix back, but it's the Earth Spirit who is dying. The Sunray not enough. The buyback available though.
This is all Aura's pop plus boat for Aurora, so actually I need to be a little bit careful with not overextending here. This could cost them a lot with a buyback if they get caught.
I mean, it's been so long that the next Roche will be somewhat soon.
Yep.
But yeah, the question is, do they want to continue here?
It's the siege
Range,
on Helm's
that's
Deep.
an easy one.
But
The melee though,
Legolas-
there's still a fortification to come for Team Zero, and they're trying to bait this buyback.
Shackle not connecting, nice force.
Of course,
Or
Aurora not sure
Cookie rather.
if 70 does have the buyback, but we can see that he certainly does. I mean, the melee racks is really low, and no fortification to come. There's backdoor protection for the time being, but the creeps are on their way. And just like that, it's 2 sets of racks for Aurora. Is that 1 hero kill in both sets of... Okay, just checking. You're the analyst.
Yep.
And the next Roche available
19
for Aurora
minus 18
in
is 1.
30 seconds. What's that?
19 minus 18 is 1. And the siege began with 18 to 8. So,
Actually, this isn't even... It could be a long Roche. We'll see in 10 seconds.
it could. Could also be a short Roche.
Yeah, it could.
We'll find out. 23 Savage will attack another tower. The tower has fallen.
He has a lot of building damage this game. The MVP for sure, the building damager himself, 23 Savage. So it's a relatively short Roche, less than a minute now. And this is exactly what Aurora, I mean, Aurora are playing this perfectly. Look at that building damage. That is quite the discrepancy, I have to say.
It's a good stat.
There's a Treant Protector there. He is going to stand in the pit because this is very important. Doing the X marks TP to get their items. And we have the double screen now in case you missed them the first time.
All right, smoke out from Team Zero. Looking for their 9th kill and their first kill in 25 minutes.
Yep. Seems Roche is more important to them than their buildings. Defense of the Roshan, I believe is the name of this game.
They cannot give away another banner.
The banner will end them for sure. They have no counter, no sniper. We've talked about it many a time. Will teams okay?
Jabs breaks the smoke.
Yes, indeed. Tidal Wave brings the Bristle back into their arms. He's going to pop the BKB, though. They're going to roll in onto the Kunkka. He's very tanky. As I say that, he's getting melted, though. Sunray ripping right through him. That's the death of Jab.
That's a good egg.
Instantly buys back into the game. The egg is placed with the Sunray as well. 23 Savage trying to run away from this Earth Spirit. Q is going to be lost. That's going to be a second buyback now for Aurora. The coil onto several heroes. Power shot deletes 23 Savage. We thought he got away, but it's not to be. And it's going to be a dieback for Q. He just runs in and dies.
He sounds on Lorinov. He's dead.
Puck is also going to drop. This is a disaster for Aurora. Out of nowhere. They will get the kill onto the Earth Spirit, but that's basically it.
They're 5k gold behind now with 2 lanes of racks, and they have...
They're buildings!
They don't have many buybacks, so this... Okay.
Team Zero can go for Roche. They can try to poke at the high ground. They can get their own Roche's banner.
Just... Okay, that was actually the perfect example of what I was talking about, right? There's multiple things happening here. First of all, who gets the jump? They get the Kunkka isolated and they kill him before he gets much of his stuff off. The carry gets to do damage and the Phoenix gets to do so much with his net worth in this fight. So pay attention to how low Kunkka gets before he even gets to press a button. I think he might not even... Yeah, he's chain stunned. He didn't do anything. And then this Supernova plus double Sunray, they force out 23 Savage and his full BKB, and then a beautiful power shot to finish him off in the very end here, coming down from YSR just as the BKB expires. So
Yes, sir. He did it.
my goodness, they're gonna get Roche too.
Well, it's Roche 3.
Good one. And guess what? That means they now have a banner.
Yep.
Will they be able to take 2 lanes of barracks without killing a hero?
I don't know. I'm not sure that's ever been done before.
This is one of the more... I think the thing we were talking about with art installation is actually quite fitting for this game. This is like some modern art stuff. I haven't really seen this before, this type of game. It's very intriguing.
Yes, intriguing.
Indubitably.
Very nice.
Fascinating.
Well, the Aegis now there for the likes of Team Zero. 23 Savage will have to take the scraps, which is a Tormentor, which only gives gold at this point. Everybody's got their shard. Still a couple more shards to go for Team Zero, though. Any 25 talents that you think are important to discuss at this stage?
All of them.
Okay, go ahead.
Windranger is level 25. And she took Whirlwind.
Yep.
Is longer. In all seriousness, though... Well, which ones are realistic? So Bristle is somewhat close. And Drow is very close. So Drow can get multi-shot wave or marksmanship chance. Probably takes marksmanship chance, right? Almost always. So, again, ultimately, I don't think there's like a game-changing 25 talent that's likely to come up right now, but it's icing on the cake for either team with what they're already doing. So it means if Aurora having a good fight where 23 Savage gets to hit stuff, this extra 10% is a really meaningful damage increase. But as we're seeing in the fights, the last one we just saw, he didn't even get to attack. Right. He just got bullied out, and no talent is going to help him with that. It's a matter of having the right formation in the team and having the vision and getting the jump. And right now, Team Zero definitely very well ahead in that regard. The only saving grace for Aurora right now is that they have a 2 Rex advantage. So there's constantly waves that the Dire team has to deal with. They have to do trash duty. And in the meantime, Lorinov is pushing the 3rd one. Yeah. It's a very deliberate defensive play by playing on the map here from the side of Aurora with their mid laner.
He's going for an Eon Disc just to make sure he doesn't get 100 to 0. 1 to 0 would be really impressive, actually, on a puck.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, very impressive to deal 32 damage indeed.
What?
You said 1 to 0.
Yeah, that's... Never mind, Cinder.
Sorry.
YSR pops the peak. Oh my god! Okay, that's the Aegis down just like that. His team is coming in. ZZQ has the egg available. Finally will use it, trying to heal up the Windrunner, but so much damage being applied by 23 Savage. They destroy the Windrunner and the egg. And now they're trying to disengage as double buyback for Team Zero, despite having the Aegis there. Ollie will be cleaned up by Beyond. And it looks like the Kunkka will follow suit. So they do get 2 kills out of it. My goodness, that was expensive.
No buyback on jabs, though, is pretty important here. This is a 5-on-4 situation now. And they are paying out Lorinov. Ponlo is on the hunt here, does not get the lift, and Lorinov might get out of trouble. He also still has the disc to assemble if he wants to. But man, killing Windranger twice there before the team really responds, I feel like it's almost unforgivable for the side of Team Zero. That's such a big blunder. Correct me if I'm wrong, she BKB'd on the first life, right?
I think so.
I think she BKB'd at the end of her first life, and then she came back and didn't have it for the second one. That's why they could kill her so quickly the second time. Because realistically speaking, you're probably not killing this Windranger with BKB focus, BKB Whirlwind plus Satanic running. So they must have caught her in a weak moment and really capitalized as much as possible. But I didn't even catch the first death. I was looking at the hero, and she was just dead on the ground.
She got 3-shot by 23.
Yeah.
Pretty insane damage coming out from the Drow. How much more room does 23 Savage have to grow right now? He is going for a Satanic. I suppose the boots will go bye-bye.
Yeah, probably.
And then after that, I mean, we talked about Ags. That's certainly the next step.
Yeah, I assume so. A synth.
Well, Team Zero.
This is anyone's game.
They still have the cheese. It's going to be on 7E right now.
Yep. And he did use his refresher orb.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned that one.
We did not.
But having two of them. So here's the replay. So she just, okay.
Yeah.
She popped her BKB on the first life on 90% health and just got 4-shot. So that's one of those, it's so easy in hindsight to say, why the hell did I BKB? But he obviously didn't expect to die so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, not having that on the second life is
Coil
a huge issue.
And kisses.
Stolen face shift. He could blink. He doesn't time it right. He didn't have the right facing, I think, on pawn low. Should be able to blink out of literally everything there as long as he clicks it directly in the direction that.
Wasn't there one spell that was an anomaly with that? Am I just making that up?
I don't know if they ever changed it with Chrono, so you can't do it with that, but I feel like you can blink out of basically everything with phase shift as long as you're clicking the exact way you're facing. But maybe there is something, as you said, perhaps.
There's always an exception in Dota. It wouldn't be Dota without an exception, surely.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a game of Roche number 4.
As you predicted.
Yeah.
Did call it.
Well,
We also predicted they wouldn't use the banner, so it's 1 for 1. But hey, the Dire haven't used their banner, have they? No, they haven't. It's in the backpack of Pawnlow.
That's true. Maybe they'll gift it to Aurora.
Oh, maybe he'll place it defensively as a ward when they get pushed.
Yeah, possibly. That was an old school strat, of course, from 1 year ago. 23 Savage on the Glacier doing a lot of damage to this tower.
Glacier plus X-Mark is actually quite dirty.
I have to say, it's pretty impressive.
There's no Yule on the... Oh, there is a Yule on the Dire on Pawnlow, so actually, as soon as he's up, they need to be a little bit careful with this play. Or he could get Blink Yuled by the Rubik into roll kick from Earth Spirit. And 7E can have insane impact since he got this.
Do you have vision on the high ground? On the Glacier?
Oh, you mean to Yule him?
Yeah.
I think so, as long as you're also on the same level, right? So if if he uses the Glacier on the low ground and you're standing in your base, don't you see him? Actually,
I don't know.
I've not played very much with and against the Glacier in these like edge case scenarios, so I think, I mean, otherwise they could get vision somehow, right? They could power shot, they could throw a Fire Spirit. You know, there's different ways. They can use Shiva on Earth Spirit, but I do think they see him already. Either way.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll trust you. I mean, if that wasn't the case, though,
either way, if he is hitting the tower, they should be able to see him regardless.
Yeah, there's a...
So as long as he's hitting something, then we should see him.
It's a one shot away from getting this tower. And of course, they have 2 lanes. Can they get this third set of racks without a kill? See the X marks with face
really don't think Aurora is going to try to actually commit for the high ground without Aegis. I think there's...
Last time they went for that Roche, they lost that fight, and that's why we're in this predicament.
Yeah, the thing about doing it this way, though, is...
Okay. Looks like they found a counter to it, but the Eon Disc does proc for the puck. And now Aurora will back away. That was a little bit scary from their perspective.
It's just this aggressive... Constantly pushing this wave in and having strong formation here is the best way of protecting Roche for Aurora. Because as long as they continue to control the ancient area and they just push mid wave and bottom wave, top wave is pushing itself, so is mid. So you're covering the third wave, which effectively is preventing Zero from getting out on the map with anything else than a smoke. So you just need to keep the formation, have the right heroes in the right place to break smoke, and you should be good. But now, Ollie is really far away.
On low, okay. Telekinesis onto the Drow. Able to get the stun off right off the bat. He's already half HP, has to force staff away. And Jabs and company on the run, but now the stun onto the Kunkka might be left to his own devices. He has a BKB of his own, though. Tempting to run away is beyond. Will chase. Meanwhile, 23 Savage trying to take out YSR. He does so from his Glacier. It looks like he's going to live through his engagement, but I don't think he can continue to fight. Meanwhile, Ollie taking a ton of damage. Looks like he's going to drop the 7E and company. Lornoff already used the coil. I think he's going to have to back away.
Hexed.
Gets hexed. Do they have the control? Tidal wave back. Gets off the phase shift again. Jab still available.
As Lornoff, Eon Disc procs again, will be able to illusory orb away. Meanwhile, 23 Savage healed enough to be able to get back into this fight, doing a decent amount of damage. He gets
nice
stunned
roll.
up though. Dust is going to reveal, and now
dead.
Drow's in a ton of trouble. 23 Savage is dead. Jabs dropped as well, and they found Lornoff somehow. Thought he was out of there already. Their base is in shambles. All they lost was 2 heroes. They buy back on the Bristleback.
Ah, yes, the classic strat. Lose your carry in a 1v1 and then team wipe the enemy team. I wish I had a good explanation for these fights, but it's just so extremely chaotic. Everything that's happening is like, it feels like you need 3 monitors to see the 3 separate skirmishes happening in this actual team fight. What a crazy setup. And whew, I mean, ultimately, what ends up happening, kind of, if you want to simplify it, is all the auras expire, right? These team fights are mega long. So all the auras expire, and then the Bristleback and the Earth Spirit just have cooldowns for days.
Yeah.
They just keep going and going and going. So this opening on 23 Savage already, in my opinion, this is pretty sloppy from Aurora, that Ollie is out collecting Lotuses while his teammates are holding the high ground. This was a 5v4 engagement because Treant was bottom right.
Oh my, are they actually going for the throne here? They're going to force a buyback onto Lornoff. Fortifications popped. The banner is placed on the bottom so they can push the wave easily. As Beyond and company now definitely going for throne. Lornoff gets the
big damage.
Waning Rift onto 2.
They can't do this.
Mortimer's Kiss is doing quite a bit as well to dissuade Team Zero from continuing on here. They get a range racks.
This is still very successful though. They forced 2 buybacks and those are more valuable than Elena Barracks at this point, for sure.
Yep, Coil
Might cost
expended
the
just for the Rubik.
3 seconds Wind Waker. 1. He might live
Hey,
here.
can he get to the high ground? No. Will die. No buyback available for him. And they'll clean up this wave in the bot lane. The tower still remains. So 4 buybacks in the game. 3 of them are on Team Zero's side.
So in the replay that we just had to cut short, Treant is bottom right collecting Lotuses while 4 of his teammates are holding the high ground. And Zero kind of just YOLO in there as 5 and get the initiation onto 23, which is the Dream Engage. They forced his BKB. He got saved and got out of the fight, but it meant he had a hard time reinitiating. So ultimately, with him being that, how to say, injured from the beginning of the fight, you do have a pretty solid numbers advantage despite him rejoining the fight and killing the Wind Ranger. He had to use absolutely everything defensively in the first place. And then ultimately the Bristleback and the Earth Spirit just over the course of 40 seconds just run down 1 hero to the next, because if Drow can't fight, those 2 heroes can't die. So the initial start of that fight was actually quite instrumental despite all the heroes surviving the first volley. All right, 70.
Oh, they get the Hex onto the Kunkka. The Sunray to follow, trying to force that from the stage. He gets shackled. A Cookie on top of him as well. Is full HP though. Pops the BKB. Look at the damage being applied here. Windrunner almost dead just off the bat along with the Earth Spirit. They have all their buybacks though. 4 expended just from Team Zero's side, and they only get the Treant Protector. The Aegis still intact.
That is a
What the hell was that?
dream result for Aurora.
Oh, no buybacks in the game, by the way.
So he put the Supernova in the middle of 4 enemy heroes, but there wasn't enough protection to prevent them from just attacking it. Snapfire was hitting it, Drow was hitting it. I think even the melee heroes were hitting the egg. And they only got the buyback of the Treant off of that, so ZZQ really wanted to get the game-winning play there, but you're going to see here the egg probably, under the circumstances, just too offensively placed. So first we get the Sunray into the Kunkka who's getting forced out. Treant is low, and now this dive, I think if he didn't place it here,
yeah,
if he let it finish or get like 3/4 of the way back and place it on the high ground, I think it would have covered the whole fight and they couldn't have killed it. But it's one of those like moments where it's all panic, right? This is super high intensity moments and people are more prone to make mistakes there, but wow. Okay, well.
Aurora are used to very late game scenarios.
They are.
We've seen it so many times before with the old Talon from, that was last year, wasn't it?
Yep.
My goodness. And we might be getting another one here. Still with the Aegis, still on 23 Savage. And last we checked, 0 buybacks currently. Will both teams... I mean, do you try to take advantage of this Aegis right now if you're Aurora, or do you wait for buybacks? Because Team Zero used theirs more recently, so there's a period there where you have the advantage.
So Drow has 3 lives. because he's going to afford buyback now.
Okay.
23 is the only player in the game with buyback, and he also has the Aegis, so the numbers advantage you have is quite significant. But the problem is your buyback isn't particularly valuable, because you can't TP back to the fight, because you can't afford buyback and travels. And also, on top of all of that, do the players actually know, like, how good of an overview do they have in this completely heated late game of the true state of buybacks? I think, if I had to guess, they obviously know that 4 heroes just bought back from 0, but they probably don't know when the 5th one did. And for 0, I doubt they have a very clear idea, because you see they're staggered on the Radiant, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be it's going to be a game of
all of them are
chicken almost
as well.
But I mean, with the information we have, I feel like Savage should absolutely go and hit the barracks. We'll see if they go for it. But it is one of those moments where if things go wrong and he lifts his arms and he starts cheering and they lose, then he'll just be like, why the hell did we go high ground? We didn't need to,
dear.
So
Forever scarred by that occasion.
Yep. I think that clip is playing in his head right now. You see behind those eyes.
Perhaps.
Behind those eyes is a cheering man.
Okay, well, Team 0 do have fortification. Aegis still a minute. Surely you try to use this timing.
Well,
knowing that 4 heroes recently bought back. Surely this is the time. Okay, the banner is placed. Glacier gets the range racks. The jump in.
Good kick.
Trying to kick him in, but no, it's not going to happen. He stays low ground. Egg is available. Not going to use it quite at this stage. 23 Savage is going to be able to use his Hurricane Pike to the high ground. Ollie's getting taken out. Gets the overgrowth at the last moment. We'll see if they want to back away now. Coil onto 2 with the Mortar Mistress is doing massive damage, but there's the Yules. Keeping 7E alive. 23 Savage doing so much damage, but a lot of defensive measures coming out from 7E and company. And lift onto 23 Savage. That is the first life for him.
5 on 4. Cooldowns are very expended. I think does Earthquake still have Refresher?
7E will get the connection onto 23 Savage. Woo! He's already at half health. He's getting destroyed. Meanwhile, again, the creep's doing a lot of damage to these tier 4 towers in Team 0's base. Jabs with the attempt to TP. He will get out. Again, the buyback available at 23 Savage, but this is 1 tier 4 tower down.
Oh my god.
They have 3 gems, by the way. 3!
Why did we go high ground, guys? Why? We could have waited for tier 5 neutrals. They're spawning right.
Oh my goodness, here we go. We got what we wanted, Cinderin.
We could have got tier 5 neutrals and then pushed high ground. We had full map control. Why didn't we just wait?
All right, what are the tier 5s that make a huge difference?
All of them.
No, that's not true. Unwavering Condition is not one of those.
All of them except Unwavering Condition.
Okay. If that was good here, that would be amazing. Stygian on the puck. Okay, that'll help with buildings. Man, look at this build. Disgusting. That is a disgusting late game puck.
I mean, I guess, is there a problem with Mirror Shield here? There isn't, right? So I think Mirror Shield would be really good for Drow.
Force Boots on Windrunner. And I believe she can go up to 600 move speed, right? So, and this uncaps that, potentially? So, super fast.
Okay, let's see if they force the buyback here.
Yep.
Can they keep the composure?
For the
Aurora,
throne, potentially. They get the Hex onto the Kunk of the buyback now to 23 Savage. It's still a 4v5 advantage. Team 0. BKB popped by Beyond. He has to run away.
Oh, Puddle.
Coil onto several heroes. The Mortar Mistress is doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Beyond being brought back. He's dead. Does have buyback, though. The egg gets destroyed. 2 dead now without buyback from Team 0's side. And now they have to back away.
Uh-oh.
And the Windrunner will follow suit. Triple kill for 23 Savage. No buyback to come. And just like that, it's a 5 versus 2. Team 0 may have just lost and going to the lower bracket with Aurora for the upper side.
And the lesson we learned today, Shannon, just don't go high ground. The team pushing is getting caught, getting out of position, and getting punished back to back to back. And all of these juicy tier 5 items for the taking for the Dire. They
tier
had
5 advantage. It was a 4-1.
They had a Force Boots and they went high ground with the entire jungle at their disposal.
Yep, and now the tier 4 will fall. Again, 2 versus 5. What can they possibly do? They can only look on as their Ancient is fully exposed. Bloodstone popped the jump in, last-ditch effort from 7E, but on the Glacier, 23 Savage with the BKB. The fortification finally popped. He's just gonna destroy 7E just very casually as the GGs come out, and Aurora
going on to the upper bracket here at TI.
In convincing fashion. Never had a doubt.